Hello and welcome to the Carolina Snowflakes Podcast, where two Southerners come to terms with their liberal snowflake tendencies. We're your hosts. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Jason. And we're here with this week's episode of the Carolina Snowflakes Podcast. This one's called Did Brandon Go?
Question mark?
Because we're going to answer if Brandon went or not.
Because we don't know.
Because we really don't know. But I thought about calling it that mostly because we haven't really talked about anything topical, like in the immediate news in a little while. Usually we try to stay on like whatever's politically prescient in the news, whatever's going on. But we've been doing last few episodes haven't really been topical in the moment. And I thought maybe we should do a catch-up episode on like politics and what's going on in that realm. And, what's going on in that realm is that everyone's saying, let's go, Brandon.
It's everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere.
It's on t-shirts.
And dances, and there's hats.
There's a song.
There's a song for Let's Go, Brandon that people are posting it everywhere. There's some club, the Patriots Club in Asheville, has a giant like electric billboard that's like paid for by Patriots Club, and it says "Let's Go, Brandon" with the stars. Yeah,
it's everywhere.
So if you don't know about Let's Go, Brandon, I guess we should tell the audience the story.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been under a rock.
Yeah, if you somehow have missed this or don't know what it is and are afraid to ask now, never fear. I can tell you the story. It basically went at a NASCAR race like a few months ago in Alabama. The crowd started to chant "Fuck Joe Biden," and NASCAR, like they don't really like that being on television. And then an NBC reporter for NBC Sports was talking to a driver, Brandon something. I don't even know his last name.
Brandon Brown
or something like that. And they were talking to the driver in a post-race interview, and he said, "Yeah, the crowd here was really behind you. They were chanting, 'Let's go, Brandon.'" And that clip kind of went viral because they were chanting "Fuck Joe Biden." Did the reporter really hear it and think it was "Let's go, Brandon," or was he just trying to save face? Who knows? It doesn't really matter.
No.
But the right has seized on it as a way to winking and nudgingly say "fuck Joe Biden," but not really.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this like hurdy-dirty, we're so funny, look at us, we're using code to communicate.
Right. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty dumb and pretty lame, but I have to say, it is kind of funny that they would change it to "Let's Go, Brandon," especially with no context of who Brandon is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I find that a little bit funny.
I mean, I just find it funny because they are too scared or something to just say "fuck Joe Biden."
Yeah, I mean, that's funny too.
Like, why not just say it?
I kind of just find it funny when you take like a regular normal name and don't like attach anything to it. So like, especially when people name their pets like normal names, like when they have this like really exotic like bird and they're like, his name's Pete. That's fucking Pete.
Uh-huh.
I like that. I find it cute, and I also find it funny. And so when I hear "Let's Go, Brandon" and no context for who Brandon is, my brain can run wild, and I just picture it's like somebody's parakeet or something. Just there's Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, to me that's kind of funny. Just the regular basicness of the name Brandon is funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I came up with something much funnier, a funnier way to say "fuck Joe Biden."
Yeah.
And we made a whole episode on it called "Buck Fight, an Attorney at Law."
Right. We were very clever. We used our brains.
I feel like if they were doing that, I would find it funny.
We used our goodly brains.
We did. We used our goodly big brains and came up with actually
a play on words.
A funny play on words to say "fuck Joe Biden." It's so funny that I was scared to put it out because I didn't want them to get a hold of it.
That's true. We had great reservation about like, do we release this trademarked something we poured our souls into coming up with, because they might steal it.
Yeah.
Little did we know.
They were going to go with something much dumber.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the end, that's where we're at. But I find the whole thing crazy because you apparently can just say "fuck Joe Biden" in public now.
Yeah, you can.
Which is just mind-boggling to me.
But they would rather say "Let's go, Brandon" because it's funnier.
Yeah, I guess it's funnier. It's like a meme.
It's part of the kind of tribalism of like, we're in a exclusive club.
Yeah.
It is. It's like a call for your you can put "Let's Go Brandon" on whatever you're wearing or doing, your bumper sticker, and it's like a wink to
well, it's like any QAnon shit or any kind of other bullshit. Mm-hmm. I kind of appreciate it alerting me to the fact that you're a douchebag, which is cool.
That you're kind of stupid.
But I just, it's such a crazy phenomenon. I thought it would go away. I didn't even think we were going to have to do an episode about it, but it's not going anywhere.
No, it's still around. In fact, I did read that NASCAR has gotten pretty upset about it because someone or someones have taken the NASCAR logo and they're now putting it with the "Let's Go Brandon" phrase on merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big no-no.
Yeah, I bet they're pissed.
And NASCAR is like not only going after those someones for doing that, but also coming out and putting out statements of like, we are not political. We do not condone this. You know.
Yes, you are. I hate to say it, NASCAR.
I mean, they kind of are, but like at the same time.
They just banned Confederate flags, so they're behind.
Listen. One step at a time, okay?
Yeah. There's like one black guy that drives, and that's it.
So, but they don't want to be the party of Republicans, at least not on the face of it.
Yeah, well, too late.
Or the sport of Republicans.
That's what I say. They should just embrace it and go full fog on it and just like have Trump racetrack, Trump Speedway.
Just roll with it. Well, I can tell you for sure that not all NASCAR fans are Trumpanzees. I know that for fact.
I believe that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the majority of them are.
The majority are, but not all.
It's like I love wrestling, but if you told me that wrestling fans on average were like poor white trash, I wouldn't argue with you. I love wrestling, and I know they're not all poor white trash, but most of them are.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm letting it be in case anyone is listening who likes NASCAR and is also a snowflake like us.
Or if you like wrestling.
Yeah, or wrestling.
I love wrestling.
We're not lumping. We are not saying all.
No, I don't want to say all, but most. You know whose company you're in. I feel like you know better than anybody.
Yeah. But as far as the "Let's Go Brandon," there's been not only all the different things, politicians have gotten involved in it now too.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Posey, who's a Florida rep, ended a speech with "Let's Go Brandon" on the House floor.
On the floor of the House.
Like, what the fuck? On the House floor. And then South Carolina Representative Jeff Duncan wore a mask with "Let's Go Brandon" across it.
See, I don't know. Part of me likes the fact that you could put... it's stupid. It's a shitty joke, and it's dumb, and it's lame. But the fact that he put a joke into something in the House floor, as a principle, I'm not necessarily that opposed to. It's a place that could use a little humor.
But what if he had ended his speech with "Fuck Joe Biden"?
Then they would censor him, whatever that is. Censure, whatever that is. Let's send him a stack of papers. I don't know.
Send him a stack of papers. Yeah, I don't get fined. I have no idea. How this works.
Paperwork is what I assume.
But essentially, that's what he did. He just didn't say that.
And so he doesn't have to do the paperwork.
Right. I guess.
That's my guess.
I guess. But still, that's essentially what he did at the end of...
I mean, we have Matt Gaetz showing like porno to other people on the floor of the House. So I mean,
that's true. Speaking of Matt Gaetz, I read a tweet from someone who had the funniest thing to say about the "Let's Brandon." So they said, if you want to say "fuck Joe Biden," you can just say it. Using a code phrase and then running off giggling is so infantile. I'm surprised Matt Gaetz hasn't tried to fuck it.
Take that, Matt Gaetz.
Burn.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And then another one that I read said, "Let's Go Brandon" is code for, quote, "I'm an ignorant, gullible maggot who can't get over my con man's loss, and I need a new way to show the nation just how stupid I am."
I guess it's kind of something like that.
Yeah. But there's also been criticism from the left towards the left on this.
Yeah, I could see that.
In saying, like, you're getting triggered.
Yeah.
You're letting yourself get triggered by this stupid phrase that Republicans are using to trigger you. You're falling into the trap.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely, there's a trap there and you're falling into it for sure.
So are we? Are we triggered?
I'm not the least bit triggered.
I'm not triggered. I'm amused, though.
I mean, I'm disappointed. Usually, I would say I'm disappointed because usually the right-wing memes are kind of funny in some ways. Like the Peppy the Frog thing. I think everybody thinks he's gross or whatever, but there was some fucking funny Peppy the Frog memes that I saw on the internet. And there were things that I laughed at that were right-wing memes because they were pretty good at memes. If they're not good at that, I don't know what their fucking point is.
I admit I sometimes laugh at right-wing memes.
Yeah, they're pretty good at memes.
Because when their portrayal of Democrats in particular is hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty funny. And so this is why I think I'm saying I'm disappointed by this because it's a right-wing meme, but it's not the normal level of right-wing memes.
It's not the caliber we expect.
When I can usually at least laugh from like an ironic point of view or like kind of poking fun at myself. I can see that in a meme usually, but this one I got nothing. It's just pretty lame. And it's not even as funny as the joke I came up with.
I know. I think that's our disappointment really. That they didn't take the buck fighting and run with it.
Yeah, I mean, the sentiment, I get it. I thought fuck Donald Trump all the time, but I mean, it wasn't something I would yell. It wasn't something I would put on a t-shirt.
No. Or stay on the House floor while he was president.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I remember being shocked when I would go to concerts as a kid and I'd see t-shirts that would have cuss words on them and be like, oh my God, I didn't know you could print the word fuck on a shirt.
Well, it's because we went to public schools where they told you couldn't wear shirts.
Yeah, I thought it was just illegal.
Yeah.
Until like recently.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was just illegal to have cuss words on your shirt.
No, it's just in poor taste.
Yeah, apparently it's just in poor taste, which I had no idea. I've actually seen around town something even worse than "Let's Go Brandon," something even stupider. This, although it's more direct, I'll give it that. I saw it was like a Jeep, like a big black Jeep, and huge stickers. I mean, probably 2-foot tall letters, as big as the back of the Jeep. It says F, and then there's an American flag, and then the K. So the American flag makes the U and the C. Joe Biden. In giant letters on the back of this Jeep. And then he had like 2 American flags and a bunch of Trump stickers on his shit. And I was like, well, so apparently you can just write fuck Joe Biden in giant letters on the back of your car, and it's just acceptable now.
And use the American flag as 2 of those letters.
Yeah, and like that's just perfectly fine to do now.
Well, at least you wasn't beating around the bush with the Let's Go Brandon thing.
That's the thing. Do you give him credit for being a little bit more direct, or do you penalize him for being crass? It's hard to know. It's hard to say.
I don't know. I think I'd just stay away from him on the road.
Yeah. I saw another truck. This is like the day after. This was on the highway, so I couldn't really do anything. Like I wanted to take a picture, but I was driving. But I see this sticker, and it's like maybe a foot tall, and it's like the Calvin pissing on whatever thing, like the NASCAR one where it has Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, and he's peeing on something. Except it's a guy in a Trump hat that's doing the peeing, and he's peeing on Nancy Pelosi, like a cartoon picture of Nancy Pelosi. And it says Pelosi with a line through it.
Oh.
And it's a guy with a Trump hat peeing on her. Wow. That was a sticker he just like had on the back of his shit.
He let us know how he felt.
I'm just my mind is who would do such a thing?
Those people.
I mean, you're gambling that any cop that gets behind you isn't gonna see that and be like, well, I'm gonna fuck with this guy.
Let's get real for a minute. Most cops, and especially the ones around here, are most likely going to agree with that sticker.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true, but you're still seems like a gamble to me. You never know. Like
you get the one lefty liberal snowflake state trooper.
Yeah, the one cop that listens to this show, and he's gonna pull you over and give you a hard time.
Well, good.
What's this meth I found?
Well, you know they've got meth.
That's the thing.
Meth,
so
AR-15s.
To me, it's kind of like putting like I'm a drug dealer on the side of your car. Like it's not a good idea.
Drugs here with the arrow pointing.
Like generally speaking, you're just increasing your risk at being fucked with by the police. But this shows you how white people think. That's some white man privilege right there.
Definitely.
I wish the police would pull me over. I'd tell them fuck Nancy Pelosi. Hey.
Can't tell me what to do.
Yeah. So that's 2 things I've seen like just driving around in the last week.
My body, my choice.
And it's nuts to me that's where we've landed politically.
Speaking of my body, my choice, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is using that as a defense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it came out in the news this week that he is not vaccinated for COVID-19.
No, he isn't. But he kind of let people think he was.
In an interview a while back, when asked, he said he was, quote, immunized.
And he'd been doing behavior like he was vaccinated. So he wasn't wearing his mask, wasn't taking the tests, was standing in a line with everybody else who was vaccinated.
And then he got COVID.
And then everybody found out that he wasn't vaccinated.
And that he had lied about his status and had been behaving in these ways. And it's like, what the hell? He's a very important person.
Oh yeah, people have been losing their minds. I've always been a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and I'm going to tell you why. Green Bay Packers are the only football team that is owned by the city. So the city of Green Bay, Wisconsin, as a whole, owns the football team of the Green Bay Packers, and the money is distributed back into the city, and they have a board of directors, not an owner.
Right.
And that's socialism.
Yeah.
And don't tell this to any, just like your random Packers fan, but the reason I'm a fan of the Packers and always have been is because it's socialism in practice.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of them, if they found out and like really believed that was the case, would not be fans of them anymore. So keep that a hush hush.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody that. But as an individual, I've always loved the Packers for that reason. That's why I have Packers paraphernalia. I've always thought of them as a symbol of like, this is socialism in action.
Yeah. And plenty of people love the team. Plenty of people love him.
Yeah, I know.
He's huge. He's a big deal.
Yeah, I used to
good.
like him. Well, he's an excellent athlete. There's no taking that away from him.
Yeah. So people are like legit devastated that he lied and that he didn't get vaccinated, and he's on this like weird woo train.
Yeah.
Consulting with Joe Rogan on how to treat his COVID.
Yeah. He called Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he called people. Dr. Rogan for...
Why not just call me at that point? Like,
and you know that Joe was like, all right, get you some horse paste.
Yeah, I can't...
Ivermectin.
What qualification does Joe Rogan have to be giving you advice on anything? I don't know.
None whatsoever.
I mean, well, I guess MMA fighting. Like, if you needed advice on how to fight a guy, I guess Joe Rogan's the one to call.
Maybe Aaron was like, hey, Joe, how do I fight this?
Yeah. I mean, in that respect, I guess I would call Joe Rogan if I wanted to know how to fight a guy.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to know how to listen to myself talk for 4 hours a day.
Every day.
Wow.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't even want to talk that. I can't imagine.
I don't want to hear either of us for that long.
Well, I would like to abruptly segue into yet another news story that is just incredible that I saw today, actually, that said Prince Harry says he told Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, about the Capitol riot being a potential coup before January 6th.
Literally the day before.
Yeah, and that's in the news now. Like, Prince Harry totally called it, I guess, or something. So
he's psychic.
And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're Prince Harry. Let me put myself in the mind frame. All right, I'm Prince Harry. Hello, I like tea and crumpets and whatnot. Right. All right, I'm Prince Harry. I go, oh no, this Twitter, everything on Twitter is all a Twitter, I guess is the word. Twitter's all a Twitter with these things about insurrection. I know. I'll call me mate Jack Dorsey, of all people, and let him know. That'll solve it. You know, and like, I guess he's just like Mary Poppins wasn't there to fix it. I don't know. Why did he call Jack Dorsey?
Because, well, what I read said that he saw the trend happening on Twitter that they were making plans. The people
Everyone saw it.
Were making plans for January 6th and inciting, riot and violence and overthrowing the government. And Harry was like, I can't, let's sit here and let this happen.
I can't. I got to interfere.
And so then he called up Jack and was like, Jack, shit's going down on your platform, man.
And Jack was like, what?
Well, no, Jack didn't say anything. In fact, Jack hasn't spoken to Harry since.
Yeah, well, what? I don't know. What do you want him to do? It was too late. It was too late, Prince Harry. You're not Superman. Like, what the fuck does he think that his job as the prince is to like secretly monitor Twitter and let the CEO know if some fucking shady shit's going down? That's just the craziest, weirdest story. Like,
I mean, I kind of understood the tie that he put out there was that It was the sensationalism of people getting worked up over something that wasn't real, like the big steal, quote unquote, the lie, that Joe Biden isn't supposed to be president or whatever.
Right.
And Harry saw that, and in his mind, this is what he said, it reminded him of the hysteria around his mother, and how the sensationalism and the chaos led to her death. Yeah. And so he just saw that kind of happening with Twitter and these crazy QAnon people.
So he essentially stepped in as the father figure for America.
Yes, he did.
To save us from our mom dying tragically. So he's like Batman. He's like Batman. His mom died tragically.
Yes.
And now he is patrolling the streets at night, dressed as a bat, making sure that we don't have this befall the same ill fate that happened to him.
That's correct.
He is Batman.
Harry.
For America.
Yes.
So that's a weird ass story, but that's a thing.
Yeah.
We also had a senator post a video that it's like from anime. He posted it on Twitter and was like, anybody like anime? Which is first of all bizarre. I can't imagine a senator knowing what anime is.
Most of them are kind of old.
Yeah.
So do they even...
But it was him, animated into the video. So,
he was in the anime?
They put his face on the anime guy.
Okay.
And while the anime guy's killing people, and the people he's killing is, AOC and Joe Biden.
Ooh.
So, it was like one of those where they took the faces out and put faces of other people on.
I see, yeah.
And he tweeted that. And, just put it out there hey, yeah, here's a video of me as an anime character killing AOC and Joe Biden, which is...
America always been this fucked?
I don't think so.
Or is this new?
Well, at the beginning, I think it was. And then I think we had, some period of calm for a while, and now it's back to the way it was. Because you have to remember, there was a time period when people got shot and beaten on the floor of the House.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm I don't want to sit here and say that this is so different from how it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because I'm
people got beaten and guns drawn on them on the House.
Yeah, the House members used to have duels.
Yeah.
If they disagreed, they would take it outside and shoot each other.
So it has been this crazy. It's just been a long time since it's been this wild.
Yeah, we were lulled there for a century or so.
Yeah. But I feel like this is kind of what it must have felt like then.
Yeah, just fucking nuts.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Just nuts.
For all I know, Marco Rubio's going to drop kick somebody off the balcony of the Senate. You know what I mean?
And feel justified in doing so.
Yeah, and all of that stuff.
And it'll be, let's go, Marco.
Yeah, that's where, for all I know, that's where we're at. And also, Travis Scott, who was somebody I'd never even heard of, but apparently is a rapper by the name of Travis Scott. Apparently he has hooked up with one of the
Kardashian sisters.
One
of the Jenners.
One of the Jenners or something. I don't know.
We're so old.
I have no shame in admitting I don't really know who all those people are or why they're famous, but I know that they are.
No one really knows why they're famous.
And he has a concert and 8 people die.
They're not just people, they were kids.
Yeah, mostly, their kids die at a concert because they did it all wrong and they failed a lot of things.
It was about money and greed and not planning properly. And I think he had a history of kind of inciting people to
and then
act badly. And
cutting corners on cost.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to the thing that also has been in the news with Alec Baldwin on the set of the movie Rust.
Yeah.
Killing a lady.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and so there's been this pattern of we're cutting corners and we're just trying to squeak by and pretend like everything's normal.
Because Hollywood's been on strike.
Yeah.
Because of the unions and wanting more pay. And so they're like, well, we got to keep filming. So we're just going to hire some scabs and we'll deal with it.
Yeah, that's
what happens. Yeah.
I think there's a pattern to this, and it's probably only going to get worse of just cutting corners, of just trying to push through and make everything happen. We're just going to make it go away, the pandemic. We're just going to make everything be okay.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, the way people are living their lives in terms of the pandemic is that if they just keep living it and pretend it's not happening, then it's not.
Yeah, if we just pretend hard enough. It's like watching have you ever had a friend, or maybe this happened to you, whose parents were getting divorced and they can't stand each other, but they still lived in the same house for the kids, and they somehow that's going to be better for the kids, even though the kids know that the tension is there all the time, and the tension is there, and it's so palpable that it makes the whole situation awkward, even for people that come over to visit, like me, who's supposed to be your friend, and now I gotta sit in a room with your weird ass dad and your weird ass mom, not talking and just staring at each other, slowly eating dinner, just staring.
This is an incredibly specific story.
Yeah, it is. But if anything like that's happened to you, you understand how that feels, and that's the situation that we're in. Like, that's where we're at.
That's true. I feel like everything is just very palpable.
Yeah,
the tension.
It's just awful.
Stress. Yeah.
It's just awful. And if we just pretend it's not there, and it's like, that doesn't work, man.
No.
It doesn't work. And anybody on the outside, like me in this story scenario, can see it and can feel it and thinks it's gross. Mm-hmm. But that's what we're all trying to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can pretend like it's not there, but it is still there. But you know who wasn't there? Steve Bannon.
Yeah, Steve Bannon. He just doesn't show up.
He can't be bothered. He's off sweating somewhere in his 5-layered t-shirts.
God, that guy is always wearing a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
So he's weirdly always got like 6 collars coming out, and you're like, how many shirts do you have on?
Because he's kind of a big guy, so it's like, why, sir?
I don't know why he wears so many shirts and jackets.
Rudy, alcoholic-looking SOB.
He's like Johnny Depp is with accessories. It's just like he's just with that with shirts.
Yes. So he got subpoenaed by Congress.
Yeah.
As part of the investigation into the January 6th riots or insurrection attempt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Coup, whatever you want to call it.
Prince Harry called it a coup.
Prince Harry said, Jack, you've got to do something.
You've got to do something, Jack.
Anyway.
They've put up the bat signal.
God. Shit. Okay. So Steve Bannon couldn't fucking be bothered to show up.
Yeah.
For
he just didn't show up.
Like Congress. They were like,
it's Congress.
Could you imagine?
No.
I don't have the cojones.
No,
if Congress was like, Amanda.
Yeah, you got to be here.
You must come testify.
I would show
I'd
up.
be like, okay, I'll be there. But he didn't.
He just didn't.
He just didn't show up. And so then they have since held him in whatever
contempt of Congress.
And they've sent the paperwork to the DOJ, and the DOJ has been doing something we don't know because,
who knows?
Well, we're not privy to that.
No.
And that may be good or bad. That's a different conversation.
Who knows?
And so people are getting really kind of anxious, and they're getting frustrated because they're like, hey, if you guys don't do something, this is going to look even more bad.
Yeah, like you can just not show up.
Yeah. You're just going to let him get away with it, but that's not necessarily the case. So I read an article this week, an opinion piece by Joyce Vance, you know her, for NBC, where she talked about this kind of window of delay.
Yeah.
And she was trying to calm us lefties and be like, listen, these things take time.
Yeah.
And if you're on the side of the DOJ, the prosecutor side, you want to make sure that you have all the evidence necessary to bring the formal charges before you just go out and say, we think this is what has happened. And sometimes that does take time. So she wrote this piece basically to try to calm us.
But I mean, like, what is there evidence? He didn't show up. You don't need any evidence.
I don't know, but that's also part of the frustration is that the judicial process in that particular way is not open. It's not transparent.
Right.
So those of us who are watching don't have anything to look at.
Right.
So we don't know what the DOJ is really doing, but she tried.
Well, I can say I really like her, Dr. Joyce Vance. Mm-hmm. I think she's a doctor, right? Or senator, the DA, whatever.
She's definitely an attorney.
Yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. Joyce Vance, I like her. I can picture her with her southern accent saying these things. I get it. But also, like, you're asking me for patience right now, and that's something that, like, nobody has at this particular moment.
No one has patience, Joyce.
Yeah, like, now is not the time to ask us for patience. Yeah. Christmas is coming. Mariah Carey just murdered Halloween.
I'm telling you, as soon as Halloween was done, that Mariah Carey music started immediately.
Oh my God. I hate Christmas music so bad. And I hate that we have 2 months of it. Yeah. It drives me insane every year.
No, it really doesn't bother me that much.
It drives me
but
nuts
I know
every year.
It bothers you.
It drives me crazy, and I'll probably rant about it again.
I'm sure.
The only time I like it is on Christmas Day. I like it on Christmas Day.
Well, that's appropriate.
Yeah, but for in November, I really fucking hate it.
Yeah.
So right now, I hate Christmas music. There is only one Christmas music that I look forward to listening to every year, and that's Jodi Arias singing "Oh Holy Night" in prison. The video of Jodi singing "Oh Holy Night" in prison is something I look forward to watching every year. It always fills me with hope and joy. If you don't know about that one, look it up. It's excellent. And so that's a little Easter egg for you.
Yeah.
And also, if you really want to know about Jodi Arias, you can listen to our episode. It was titled "Underwear Perverts and Their Downslide into Murder."
Can't even say it with a straight face.
I really can't. But that's what it's titled: "Underwear Perverts and Their Downslide into Murder." And I guess that concludes our list of news articles in no particular order, except for our most immediate breaking news. Breaking. We received a fan letter from somebody we never met before.
We did.
A fan email.
Yes.
That made me feel really, really good. It was from Kim in Alaska. In Alaska, of all
places.
Yeah. So we wanted to say thank you for listening, Kim, and we really appreciate your email.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's really great to hear from you. I'm shocked, and I feel great to know that somebody out there listens to the show and that they enjoy what we do, because we really like making it.
And it came from somebody who's not a guilted family member or friend that we make listen.
So that felt great, and I just wanted to thank her. So thank you very much, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
And if you want to find more episodes to listen to that would be good, besides Underwear Perverts and Their Downslide into Murder, which should be up there on your list to listen to, honestly, because it's one of our best episodes. But you can find a whole bunch more on our website,
carolinasnowflakes.com.
Or you can get on Facebook and interact with us and other people in the metaverse, I guess.
Metaverse, yes. Facebook.com/Carolina Snowflakes.
And if any of our other fans would like to send an email, we would love to hear from you. We'll give you a shout out like we did for Kim. All you got to do is email us at
carolinasnowflakes@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Thanks for listening. Bye.